Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Read Aloud. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, and we are on day 21 of distance learning, I believe. And today we're going to get started with this article. So in front of you, you should either have a blank piece of paper or the papers that you can find in our distance learning folder. So you go to distance learning materials, first grade. This is read aloud. So you go here and then you go to this week and you go to today's date, Wednesday, April 15th. And there you will find the piece of paper that we'll be filling out throughout the video, as well as the exit ticket after that. And if you'd like to use the article to follow along or answer your questions later, it can be found right here. There it is. All right, now let's get started. All right, so let's hide this. My face is in a good place. All right, good to go. So today we've got this article called Frozen City. And I'm pretty sure just flipping through these pages, we can tell what the genre of this text is. So I'm going to flip through it and you're going to write down what genre is this article. Go ahead. All right, so when we're trying to figure out what genre it is, it's either going to be fiction or it's going to be nonfiction. Um, and on this article right here, right on the front, I see a photograph. Um, and we know that photographs are a text feature of nonfiction texts. If we go inside here, we see lots more photographs and we see other text features that also belong in nonfiction texts. If you look up here, there's an H over here. Turns out my face isn't in the best place. There we go. It says, how do they build a city of ice? And that relates to what we saw, not on the back, but on the front, where it says frozen city. So we know that it's probably going to be teaching us, this article is probably going to be teaching us about that. And then on the back, we see the definitions of these words that we'll get to later on. But we know that these are definitions. So this is probably a glossary back here. So we know that the genre of this text is nonfiction. The genre of this text is nonfiction. If you were reading really quickly, you can see under the title, Frozen City, this first line, are these ice castles real? Yes. So we know that these ice castles are real. We're going to learn about them. We know that nonfiction texts teach us about something. So this text is nonfiction. Now we can write down the text features that we see. So we're going to answer the next question. Before we even start reading this text, what text features do you see in this article? I'm going to flip through the pages again, and you write down the ones that you see. Go ahead. All right, so let's start with the cover. So on the cover, like I said before, we see a photograph. So that's one of them. We got photographs. We also know that this is the title of the article. So we got titles as well. On the front, we have photograph and a title. And then if you look under here, if that goes away, where the arrow is pointing, you can see that the word festival is actually a little bit bolder than the rest of the text down there. So on the front cover, we see a photograph, a title, and a bolded word. Now let's look inside. All right, we see more photographs, see another title, we see some headings, um, more bolded words. I see this is a label right here showing us what this is. I also see some captions down here describing what is going on in each of those photographs. So we have photographs, titles, headings, bolded words, captions, labels, and let's see if we're missing any on the back. No, I don't believe we do because these are bolded words as well. This isn't up here. I know I mentioned the word glossary before, but I made a mistake because a glossary defines or gives you the definition, tells you what the words means when it's actually being used in the text. So these words were not being used in the text back here. It's not any of the bolded words that we see. This is just something extra that's telling you what these words mean. But we already know what these words mean from our light unit, so we are ahead of the game. So we know that our text features, let's go over them one more time. We've got photographs, titles, headings, captions, bolded words. We have labels, and that's it. Those are our text features. Now we can begin reading. So we got the front cover here, and the title of this article is Frozen City. Are these ice castles real? Yes. In China, people build them every winter for an ice festival. Let's look at what this ice festival is. How do they build a city of ice? First, workers cut the ice. Workers go to a frozen river. They cut the blocks of ice from it. They put the ice onto trucks. Beep, beep, move out of the way. The trucks take the ice to the festival. Then, workers build with the ice. The blocks of ice are too heavy for people to carry. Cranes lift them up. The cranes stack the blocks of ice on top of each other. The blocks make tall buildings. Next, workers light the ice. Workers put lights on the ice. The lights illuminate the ice. That means they light it up. The lovely lights shine through the ice. What colors of lights can you see? Well, I see some green over here. I see some blue, yellow, orange, maybe, purple. You guys can let me know if I'm wrong if you post on your exit ticket. Last, the ice melts. Drip, drip, drip. In the spring, the ice melts. The ice city is gone. Watch where you step. The ground is covered in puddles. Workers will build an ice city again next year. So they do this every single year. This is a lot of work to do it every single year. My goodness. Let's read down here. What can you do in a frozen city? You can eat at an ice restaurant. Oof, sounds cold. You can ride on an ice slide. Sounds slippery. And you can play an ice piano. A lot of activities you can do in an ice castle. On the back, can light shine through it? Light shines through the ice at the ice festival. Learn 3 science words about light. Now we know what these mean already. Transparent. It lets light through. You can see clearly through it. Translucent. It lets some light shine through. You can see through it, but the shapes are fuzzy. Opaque. It does not let light through. You can't see through it. Like my water bottle. Can't see through this water bottle. You can't see my face right now. Now you can. Um, Now, this quiz at the bottom, you can do it later if you would like to, but you don't have to. We need to get back to our sheet where we're going to answer the next questions. So, next question is asking us what the main topic of this article is. So, I'm going to flip through it as you think about what the main topic of this article is. Go ahead. All right, so this whole article is about one thing in particular, and you can tell from the photographs and all the other text features what this article is about. So on the front, I see an ice castle, um, but we know from the title that it's not just one ice castle because there's not. If it's considered a city, there's going to be more than one. So yes, in here, it's an entire city of ice. So there are lots of ice castles. So the main topic of this article is ice castles because it shows you how they are built um, and what you can do inside of them. So the main topic is ice castles. Now we can answer the next question. What text feature shows us what a crane is? So I would probably look in this section right here because I see this telling us what a crane is, and I see a bolded word in here that tells us what, or that tells us that this text right here is going to tell us about cranes. So, which text feature shows us what a crane is? What is that text feature called? Write that down. All right. So, oh no. Don't worry. Don't be alarmed. I just pressed the wrong button. All right. So in this section right here, we see this bolded word says cranes. And then this text feature right here, this is a label. This says crane as well. But we need to determine which of these two text features actually actually shows us what the crane is. So if we look in here, I'm going to read the sentences around the bolded word. The blocks of ice are too heavy for people to carry. Cranes lift them up. The cranes stack the blocks of ice on top of each other. The blocks make tall buildings. Okay, so this bolded word right here tells us what the cranes do, but it doesn't tell us what a crane is. So it's actually this text feature up here that shows us what the crane is. The crane is this whole thing right here. You can see them on construction sites a lot too. So the text feature that shows us what a crane is a label. This text feature is called a label. All right, now we can move on to the next question. What does the word illuminate mean? It's a fun word to say. You can say it with me. Illuminate. What does the word illuminate mean? So if I were you, I would look in this section over here because that's where the bolded word illuminate is. So take about 30 seconds now. to write down what you think illuminate means, and we'll go over it together. Go ahead. All right, so in this section right here, I see the bolded word illuminate. So that's going to tell me that this is where I should look to figure out what that word means. So I'm going to read the text around the word illuminate. Next, workers light the ice. Workers put lights on the ice. The lights illuminate the ice. That means they light it up. Hmm. All right, so now we know what the word illuminate means. That means they light it up. So illuminate means to light up because we see these lights over here illuminating the castle. Because over here, it's just made of ice. And as if this wasn't impressive enough with how tall and how big it is, they need to add lights on it as well to illuminate the ice. Now we can answer the last question on that first sheet. If I wanted to play some music, how could I do that in an ice castle? So if I wanted to play some music, if I wanted to play an instrument, if I wanted to sing and dance or just play some music, um, how could I do that in an ice castle? You're going to use this page right here to answer your question. Go ahead. All right, so say I'm living in an ice castle. I'm all bundled up. I've got my coat and scarf and mittens and all the things that I need for when it's cold outside, and I want to play some music. I just need to play the music. I need to find something that will help me play the music. And I know that the answer to that is on this page. So let's look over here. First, the workers cut the ice. Is this going to make music? Probably not, even though it goes beep beep. It's not really music. You don't want to listen to that. You don't want to dance to it. It's not music. And then we've got cranes are lifting the blocks up. Now, the only sound that I would hear out of that is a big or crash or something like that. So then that's not music. I don't want to listen to that. And we know that the lights, you can't really hear lights. You can see lights, but you can't hear lights like you would with music. Um, and then the ice melts. All I'm going to hear is dripping. That's going to get really annoying after a while. And it's not music, that's for sure. Now let's look down here. Here we go. I think I found it. You can play an ice piano. Now, believe it or not, friends, this piano actually works. If you play this ice piano, you will hear some music coming out of it. So, if I wanted to play some music in this ice castle, I would find an ice piano. Um, so the answer to that last question is if I wanted to play some music, I would play the ice piano. All right, friends. Now that we've answered all of those questions, it's time to move on to our exit ticket. The question that the exit ticket is asking us today is how is an ice castle built and then taken down? Use evidence from the text to write about the 4 steps with details. Be as specific as you can. So, this exit ticket is asking you, how is the ice castle built and then taken down? So, every year, they go through this process of building the ice castles and then they have to take them down so that they can start it again. Also, eventually, it'll get too warm and the castle will melt. So, I see up here this heading, how do they build a city of ice? So if I'm trying to answer the question, how they built a city of ice, I know that I'm going to look at these 4 rectangles or these 4 sections right here. I know that this one goes first because it has this transition word first. And then I know that this one over here is last because it says it has a transition word last. These blocks go in order. So this is the order that you need to write your exit ticket in. Remember, you're not writing down every single word that the article has. You are using your own words to write the exit ticket. Once you're done, you're going to take a picture of your work and then upload it to Seesaw. Remember, friends, if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to reach out to your teachers, and we will do our very best to help you the best that we can. All right, my friends, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.